welcome back to Simply Satisfied, everyone. Today I am joined by another guest, another doctor. I had a doctor last episode, and her name is Christiana Schroeder. She is a doctor, she's a professor, she's a business and wellness coach, and she's a best-selling author. I feel like that's going to be the theme of the show today, is discovering your superpowers. Can you walk me through how your podcast climbed to the top 1% and kind of what that journey looked like, you know, overnight, or not overnight, but how the journey looked along the way?
People look at this and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I want to get there too."
Yeah,
But just with anything, like whether you're talking about Michael Jordan or Mel Robbins, there was a point when they got started. There was a point when I got started, and I have to say my beginning was kind of crappy, right?
yeah,
And I'm a firm believer in small, valuable moments, right? I call it petite practice, small little steps that you take towards reaching your goals. You just have to get started and then you figure out, oh, hey, yeah, that's really good. My number one recommendation is to actually not worry about that stuff, right? It's kind of like, I mentioned Michael Jordan earlier, or just yesterday. I read about Kevin Hart, right? So Kevin Hart, famous comedian, he might have, you might look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, like amazing. He auditioned like 3,800 times before somebody actually offered him a job. So,
really.
oh yeah, it's a crazy number. You need to think you're sharing something with the world that the world wants to hear, and everything else will just fall into place. So the best-selling book, How to Master Your Goals, really came from the fact I teach marketing, innovation, entrepreneurship. And if you look at these three areas, it's nearly like a Venn diagram, right? Marketing, innovation, entrepreneurship. You can open the book on any page and you can jump right in. And it might even be a page where there's a word search. You don't need to aim for perfection. You're not going for the horizon because guess what? You will never get there. People talk to me like, well, I want to build a business, but I don't know where and how and blah, blah, blah. It's like every day you're going to sit down and you're going to work 15 minutes on your business. I would say the number one issue that people have that work with me, they're, usually like mid-tier businesses really trying to scale, is the overwhelm, the feeling I need to be everywhere all at once. So in my life, I think that it's sometimes the petite practice that really lowers down that entrance into something that's scary and overwhelming. That's lame because at the end of the day, we all will come to the end of our life and nobody will ever say, gosh, I just wish I would have had more money. We all have that one person in our life that you want to be an artist, you draw a picture, and there's an art teacher that comes, looks over your shoulder and say, well, that's crap. And then you're like, done. You don't ever want to draw again.
If you dig deep enough, like if you get to like 5 and 6 layers and they're actually digging, they're not just like kind of making
Mm.
excuses or kind of skirting around the question. Most people will have such a heavy emotional reaction. It'll be
Yes.
it'll be hard to hold in.
We all have something that is easy for us and that's hard for others. Just put something out there because progress always beats perfection, right? You could either way stand inside of your story and own it, or you can stand outside and wish you can do something about it. People don't buy products and services, they buy stories. Completely transformed my life from being miserable to being marvelous. And here we go. And that's how it goes, right? So you're
Yeah.
stealing because you are not sharing everything that you're capable of. And then they're like, what do you mean by stealing? It's like, well, you're not ever letting others know how amazing you are.
Your story will one day be someone else's like survival guide or something.
People tell you what your superpower is. You actually just really need to listen to it. So don't just say, oh, no, blah, blah. No. Actually say, thank you so much. I always tell my children, if there's one thing you can be, it's kind, right?